Okay, so ito yung bagong TOS natin, yung 2024 TOS sa Professional Conduct and Ethical Standards. Ito class. So dito, nakalagay 4.1, apply the principles of ethics, morality, values, social norms, and standards in law enforcement activity. So dapat na-explain natin what is ethics, what is morality, values, social norms, and standards. Second, 4.2, exhibit adherence to the law enforcement code of professional conduct and ethical standards. 4.3, apply the oath of office for public officer and employee, embodying the principles of code of conduct and ethical standards for public officer and employee. And of course, professional standards for criminologists. Then 4.4, comprehend the concept of ethics and its practical application concerning the foundation principles of human rights. Okay? So yan class ang concept or yan lang yung content ng bagong TOS when it comes sa professional conduct and ethical standards. So hindi ko po pwedeng ibigay yung TOS sa inyo kasi hindi pa yan officially na-release ng PRC. Don't worry kapag naka-align lahat ng ating discussion sa bagong TOS. Of course, hindi ko pwedeng ibigay yun. Then, same as to sa ibang lecturers and speakers. Okay? So, kaya kung nagtataka kayo bakit sa akin ang meron na, so huwag nyo nang tanong. Okay? Huwag nyo nang alamin. Okay? So, nakuha ba? Okay, walang violent reaction. Okay, so naputol class sa wala pa kasi. Inaayos pa. Pero yung dati yung ginagamit. Okay, so again, let's continue. Okay, so again, ito yung bagong POS natin. So ito na yung lalabas sa August 2024. Okay? So let's continue. So yan. Okay, so please identify the keywords. Then I will read one by one. Then ilagay niyo class sa comment section. Okay. So ano yung keywords or ano yung one word or two words na natandaan ninyo pag may encounter niyo yung term na custom? Okay, again, pag sinabi natin custom, so what is that? What is custom class? For sure. Okay. How about others? Yes, yan po. Okay. So, ayan. Huwag kayong mahiya maglagay ng sagot niyo kahit mali man yan. Carried on by tradition. Okay. So, sinabi ni Tons, pag sinabi nating custom is carried on by traditions. Okay. So, okay. How about naman pag sinabi nating traditions? Okay. Pag sinabi nating traditions, what is traditions, class? Handling down, system of belief. Of course, guys, ang customs and traditions are system of beliefs and principles. So, anong tandaan nyo kapag sinabi natin traditions? Paki-off ng microphone nyo, class, kasi nakaka-distract sa iba. So, okay. System of beliefs. Okay, system of beliefs. How about naman, class, pag sinabi natin courtesy? Ano yung nai-encounter nyo? Or ano yung naiisip nyo pag sinabi natin courtesy? What is courtesy? Sorry. Okay, so what is courtesy? Consideration and respect. Respect. Okay, so may nakita na akong tamang sagot mamaya. Let's try to answer this one. Then how about ceremony? What is ceremony? Ano yung ano ninyo? Ano yung na-encounter? Or ano yung na-remember ninyo pag sinabi natin ceremony? What is ceremony? Formal event. Okay, very good. Okay, merong very some formal event, ceremony. Then we have, how about social decorum? What is social decorum? Proper attire, PNP. Social decorum. Of course, pasok yan sa social decorum, yung proper attire and so on. So, ano yung set of norms, okay, and standards? Okay, so let's try to answer this one. Okay, so i-finalize natin. Okay, so ready na ba? Okay, social graces. Okay, iba na rin yung social graces. So, tanda niyo, pag sinabi nating pag sinabi nating customs, ang tanda nyo lang, of course, that is the system of beliefs, the principles na transferred, of course, by the force of law. Tanda nyo lang, ang custom class by the force of law, tandaan, custom, that is by the force of law, while ang traditions naman, that is the unwritten law. Again, tandaan nyo, si customs and traditions, yan yung tinatawag natin na system of beliefs, principles. But ang kaibahan nilang dalawa, ang customs, it is by force of law, while ang traditions naman because of the unwritten law. It was transferred because of the force of law, while ang traditions naman, there is an unwritten law. So ang tradition, kasi nakalagay yan, unwritten law. So wala namang talagang nakalagay sa book or wala namang talagang nakalagay sa record. But of course, it is your tradition. Then, of course, may choice ka uh, na sundin yan o hindi kasi nga that is a tradition. Okay? Then pag sinabi natin courtesy class, that is respect. Diba sa PNP, we have different courtesies na meron tayo. Kapag na-promote ka, of course, you must pay respect to your superior. Then kapag ma-transfer ka sa ibang station, then kailangan mo rin mag-pay respect to the superior doon sa police station na yon. Kasi hindi ka lang naman agad-agad diretso uh, mag-duty, di ba? Baka mabigla yung superior mo bakit may naka-duty dito na hindi naman siya member ng platoon or member ng ganong police station or ganong station. So that is a courtesy. Then kapag during Christmas season class, nagkakaroon din tayo ng courtesy call, di ba? Kaya nagkaroon din ng Christmas call. And then kapag during New Year is New Year's call. Ang ibig sabihin ng Christmas call and New Year's call, hindi yung doon hindi kayong makikain ka doon. Hindi. Kailangan mo lang magpakita kay mayor or kay governor as para magbate, di ba? As a sign of respect. Yan yung tinatawag natin na courtesy. Pag sinabi naman nating ceremony, that is any formal event na meron tayo lalo na sa PNP organization or sa ibang organization as well, sa law enforcement agencies. Ang mga types of ceremony, of course, meron tayong retirement, di ba? Retirement ceremony. Kapag magre-retire na yung isang member or yung VIP ceremony, halimbawa may dadalhin or merong VIP, halimbawa paparating si Chief PNP sa province na yan or sa training center na yan. So that is also a ceremony, that is a formal event. While ang sinasabi natin social decorum, okay, half mast, very good. Ang half mast, of course, that is also a ceremony honoring yung contribution ng tao na yon or yung because of his death. Kailangan na parang it is a sign of warning or nagluluksa. Then pag sinabi naman nating social decorum, of course, that is an etiquette. Again, pag sinabi nating social decorum, yan yung tinatawag natin na ilang days po yun, sir. Ano yan? Ilang days po yun. Sa ano yan? Depende yung William. Ang kapag ano. Pero pwede yung balikan doon sa mga previous lectures. Nandun rin. Pero i-lecture rin natin yan sa CFLM, sa LEA. Okay? So under the social decorum, pag sinabi natin social decorum class, those are the set of standards or etiquette na sundin ng isang police officer or isang member ng organization. Halimbawa, merong tinatawag natin na formal event or social graces. So, dapat yung social decorum, yung pagkain mo, alam mo rin yung hindi ka kukuha agad-agad ng marami, no? Or yung sa uniform mo, dapat naka-plancha yan. Kapag social graces, the way you walk, yung paglalakad mo, then yung pagsasalita mo, dapat meron ding standard. Ang tawag natin doon is the social decorum. Of course, that is the etiquette na dapat i-convey or i-portray ng isang member of the organization, lalong-lalo na sa PNP organization. Nakuha ba? Nasundan niyo? Okay
Yes,
na
sir.
ba? Okay, so yan. Ganun na kasimple class ang mga terms, di ba? So dapat keep on reading class, keep on writing lahat-lahat ng ano ninyo, lahat ng dinidiscuss natin. Keep on writing, keep on reading. Katulad ko, di ba? Through the years, for ilang years na ako nag-lecture, magpo 4 years na. So I keep on researching, reading lahat-lahat ng ginagawa ko. That's why my mind is sharpening, or yung utak ko is sharpen na. Diba, kahit wala akong tinitingnan, kayang-kaya ko i-discuss lahat ng areas, criminal law hanggang corruption. So, yun ang tinatawag natin na sharpening your memory. Dapat kasi nga, gamitin niyo yung memory niyo palagi, or keep on reading, keep on researching. Then, of course, open for improvement. Okay? So, yan. Next, nakuha na natin, ulitin natin, pag sinabi natin customs, that is by the force of law. Pag sinabi natin traditions, unwritten law. Courtesy naman, respect. Ceremony, that is a formal event. Social decorum, that is the etiquette or the set of standards na dapat sundin ng isang member ng organization, lalong-lalo na sa PNP. Okay, next. Then, of course, we have the PNP core values. So again, we have the PNP core values: makatao, makabayan, makakalikasan, and makabansa. Okay, so pag sinabi natin makatao, both pro-human, di ba? Pag sinabi natin makabayan, pro-nationality. Okay? So pag sinabi naman natin makakalikasan, environment, and ang maka-Diyos naman is pro-God. That is the PNP core values na meron tayo. Nasundan ba ninyo? So again, ang PNP core values natin, kahit simple lang yan, posibleng lalabas yan sa board exam. Makatao, makabayan, makakalikasan, at maka-Diyos. That is the PNP core values. Then, of course, sino yung tinatawag natin, class, na father of ethics? Again, sino yung tinatawag natin na father of ethics? Alam nyo ba? Pakilagay sa comment section. Okay. And sino yung tinatawag natin na father of ethics? Okay, ang father of ethics, okay, meron kayong idea, si Edward Louis Burney. Okay, very good thoughts, okay? Si Edward Louis Burney, ang father of ethics, class. Okay, again, ang father of ethics is si Edward Louis Burney, ang father of ethics. Okay, next, of course, under the 1987 Constitution, Republic of the Philippines, of course, that is Article 11. So, ang subject natin is professional standards and ethical standards, of course, di ba? So, dapat alam nyo yung Article 11 ng 1987 Constitution, that is the accountability of public officers. Again, on the accountability of public officers, under Section 1, nakalagay, public office is a public trust. Again, public office is a public trust. So, meaning, yung public officers and employees must at all times be accountable to people. Sabihin, ang tao ang nag-elect sa kanila, or ang tao nagbigay sa nila ng kapangyarihan. So, ang kanilang boss is tayo, yung community. So again, public office is a public trust. They must be, or at all times, they are accountable to the people. Ibig sabihin, they will serve them with utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency. And of course, they will act with patriotism and justice and lead the modest life. So again, tanda nyo under the Article 11 of the 1987 Constitution, public office is a public trust. Okay, so ibig sabihin niya, class, pag public office is a public trust, the public officers and employees are accountable at all times to the people kasi nga sila yung boss nila. That is the accountability of public officers or employee. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. Okay, then of course, we have, kung meron tayong constitution, meron na tayong special law. Tandaan nyo, ang mga special law, those are mga Republic Acts, mga presidential decrees, and so on. Ang under Republic Act number 6713, that is, of course, that was approved into law on February 20, 1989. That is the, of course, the Section 1 title. Ang tawag natin dyan is the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. Pag sinabi kasi nating class na Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards, yun yung mga kailangan i-portray o yung mga hindi dapat at dapat i-portray ng isang public officials and employees. So dapat basahin nyo ha yung whole na batas, yung 6713. So nakalagay ko na, i-research na lang yung most important key points yan. So nandun naman lahat yan. Yung kung ano yung mga dapat, okay, dapat ma-avoid sa corruption, and so on. We will live the Polish lives and so on. So that is under the Republic Act 67113. That is the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. But of course, most of the our presentation, actually ang TOS dito sa Professional Conduct and Ethical Standards, dito na yung kinuha halos lahat yung sa 6713. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating ethics, again, pag sinabi nating ethics, that is the system of moral principles. Again, pag sinabi nating ethics, that is the system of moral principles, or that is the moral standards governing our conduct of a person. So, tandaan nyo class, ang ethics, of course, para mas madali nyo maintindihan, it is the science of what is right from what is wrong. Again, pag sinabi nating ethics, that is the science of what is right from what is wrong. So yan yung tinatawag natin na ethics. Or it is the rules and practice applied to a single class of human actions. So, ibig sabihin, kapag sa police ethics, meron police ethics, no? Ibig sabihin, that is the science of what is right and what is wrong in the application or in connection with the police service. That is the police ethics. So, of course, ang ethics, it is the study of philosophy of human conduct with the emphasis on determination of right and wrong. So yeah, that's why, in a simple words, pag sinabi nating ethics, it is the science of what is right from what is wrong. Okay, that is the system of moral principles and moral standards governing the conduct of a person. That is the ethics. Again, what is ethics? That is the science of what is right from what is wrong. Okay, that is ethics. Nakuha ba? Nakuha
Yes,
ninyo?
sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
next tayo. Okay, then of course, we have the different examples of ethics. Of course, una dyan, kapag sa legal profession, ang tawag natin dyan is the legal ethics. Again, pang tawag natin sa ethics na ginagamit in the legal profession is the legal ethics. Pag sinabi naman natin in the medical profession, ang tawag naman natin dyan guys is the medical ethics. Sa nursing profession naman, we have the nursing ethics and of course the police ethics. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na the science of what is right of what is wrong in connection with the police service. So lahat ng profession, meron yung tinatawag natin na ethics. Okay, so again, ang pag sinabi natin ethics, that is the science of what is right from what is wrong. So every profession, meron silang tinatawag na ethics. Ibig sabihin, those are the set of standards na dapat nilang sundin sa kanilang profession. Sa atin, as a criminologist, of course, di ba, meron tayong ethics na sinusunod or standard or yung science of what is right and what is wrong or yun yung tama na dapat sundin ng isang criminologist. Okay? Yan yung mga examples ng ethics natin. Pag sinabi naman nating morals, it is the character and behavior from the point of right and wrong. Again, pag sinabi nating morals, that is the character and behavior from the point of right and wrong. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na morals. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin morals, that is the character and behavior from the point of right and wrong. Kasi yung ethics naman, it is the science of what is right from what is wrong. Character and behavior from the point of right and wrong. Ang morals class, may nakaset ba na standard yan? Or may nakaset ba na batas yan? Sa tinatawag natin na morals? Of course, wala, di ba? Kasi nga tinatawag natin na morality or morals. So, ibig sabihin, ang nag-set ng standard niyan is yung community ninyo or yung kapitbahay ninyo, di ba? Si Marites, Mariposa, di ba? Marisol. So, halimbawa, di ba, yung pag-boyfriend na hindi pa pagtapos, immoral daw yan. Okay, pero hindi naman. So, kaya kumaga ang morality or morals, naka-based yan sa paniniwala or sa standards na na-set ng community or ng barangay ninyo or yung sa paligid ninyo. So that is the morality. Hindi yung standards na naset ng batas natin. Kaya again, pag sabi ng morality or morals, that is the character and behavior from the point of right and wrong. So that is the morals. Okay? Pag sinabi naman natin, bakit natin kinakailangan i-study or pag-aralan yung ethics? Of course, una dyan, when it comes to our decisions, wrong ways, right ways of doing things. Then, of course, to have an orderly social life and, of course, to value life. So, kailangan natin i-study ang ethics. Okay? So, decisions, in our orderly life and of course to add value to our life. Okay? So next, pag sinabi na okay, then of course we have the professional ethics. Pag sinabi natin professional ethics, sorry. Okay, that is the branch of moral science, traits of obligation which a member of profession owes to the public. Halimbawa, you are a police officer or you are a criminologist, you are an engineer, you are a nurse, okay? So, ibig sabihin, kapag may professional ethics ka, ibig sabihin, you are accountable or kahit kasi member ka ng organization, halimbawa ng PCAP, you owes to the public, to his profession, to your profession, his written, and to his client. So, ibig sabihin, dapat i-serve mo ng maayos yung profession mo, yung public, kasi nga, meron kang sinumpaan yung professional ethics to be of service of the community. So, yan yung tinatawag natin, guys, na professional ethics. Nakuha ba ninyo? Kasundan? Okay lang?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. Okay, pag sinabi nating moralist, ang moralist class, that is the person who values or follows good conduct, even in the absence of religion. Ang tawag natin doon is moralist. Okay, again, a person who values or follows the good conduct, even in the absence of religion. Ibig sabihin, kahit hindi naman, di ba, kahit wala namang religion existence on that, ngayon, pagpalagay natin na walang religion na nag-exist. But they follow the good conduct. So, ang tawag natin doon is the moralist. Nakuha ba? Ang tawag natin doon is the moralist. Okay, next. Pag we have the ethical basis, of course, pag sinabi natin ethical basis, so kung ano yung pwede, yung acceptable at hindi. Okay? Or yung tinatawag natin na ethical standards, di ba? Kung sa research, meron tayong tinatawag na ethical standards sa subject natin or sa profession in yung class, meron din tayong ethical basis kung tama ba, kung pasok ba sa standards ang ginagawa mo. Then, of course, una dyan, we have the rules. Okay? We accept it for our personal behavior because we believe them to be given by divine revelation or because we believe them as necessary parts of a social contract to protect and further human welfare. Of course, kapag there is a rules, halimbawa na lang, kapag very soon, you will become a licensed criminologist. Of course, meron din tayong rules na sinusunod doon. Okay? Of course, it is a part of social contract to protect you and of course to improve yung human welfare natin lahat. Kaya kasi kapag wala tayong rules, halimbawa sa drugs, wala tayong batas na special law or 9165, of course lahat 'di ba magiging addict na. So yan yung kanang purpose ng rules class. That is, it will serve as your guidance or it will serve as your guide. Okay? That is the rules. Okay, so pag sinabi natin next tayo, ay pakibasa nga, mag-ano ako kasi hindi ko wala tayong interaction. Si Angelo. Sir Angelo, pakibasa ng result.
Results. The utilitarian principle is artificial basis for action. The state is based traditionally at seeking the greatest good for the greatest number.
Okay, so actually, thank you. Paki-off muna ng microphone. Okay, pag sinabi nating results, guys, paki-off muna ng microphone. Okay, again, kapag after nyo magbasa ka, paki-off ng microphone para hindi siya bumalik yung tunog. So, thank you. So again, pag sinabi nating results class, of course, you are familiar with the utilitarian principle or yung tinatawag natin na principle of utility, di ba? We already discussed that one in the introduction to criminology. So under the utilitarian principle, it focuses our attention to the consequence of our action. So of course, it is expressly traditionally expressed as the seeking the greatest good of the greatest number. So kung ano naputol ang
Wala kang boss. Ay, meron na.
ayan na. Okay, so wait lang. Okay, again ulitin natin. So ayan. So again, so ang pag sinabi nating results, of course, nakafocus tayo class on the utilitarian principle or the principle of utility. So ang principle of utility, ulitin ko, that is the seeking the greatest good of the greatest number or the majority. So yan yung tinatawag natin na utilitarian principle. Ibig sabihin, as a leader, of course, applicable din yan sa leader or as a person or in the organization class, kapag you're a leader, you are the superior, dapat ang attention mo or yung focus mo kung ano yung mas nakakabuti sa nakakarami, hindi lang or hindi sa nakakabuti sa ilan lang. Yan yung tinatawag natin na utilitarian principle. Again, pag sinabi natin utilitarian principle, seeking the greatest good for the greatest number or your focus is on the improvement or on the welfare of the majority. Ibig sabihin, nakafocus ka halimbawa, may dalawa out of 10 na hindi sang-ayon doon sa panukalang batas mo or sa instruction mo. But of course, yung 8 na natira, they are very much aware or they are very much gustong-gusto nila yung panukala mo. So of course, ituloy mo yan. Ang tawag natin doon is the principle of utility. Seeking the greatest good for the greatest number or your focus is on the improvement or sa majority natin. That is principle of utility. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ni class? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Same as utilitarianism.
Yes, isa lang yan sila. Don't be confused. Ang principle of utility and utilitarianism, isa lang yan sila. Okay? Greatest benefits of the majority. That is the other term. Pinaganda ko lang. Pero yun class, baka pagdating sa board exam kasi, hindi nila itatanong ang utilitarian. Ang itatanong nila doon sa choices. Ang sa choices na ilalagay nila is principle of utility tapos hindi mo pinili kasi akala mo ibang ano yon. So dapat aware ka kung ano yung other term, di ba? Also known as, otherwise known as, and also called as. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so dapat alam nyo ang paggamit ng mga other terms or also known as, otherwise known as, and also called as. Okay, so dito tayo, ay balik muna. Okay, pag sinabi natin relationships, ipa-explain nga natin dito. Nandito si Sir Robin. Wala? Absent siya.
Yes, sir.
Ay, nandyan. Sige. Pakibasa, sir, then kung ano yung explanation.
Sige, sir. Relationships. Confucius proposed a golden rule of caring. Do not do to others what you would not have them to do to you. He spoke of a principle of reciprocity. For Confucius, are and kindness were primary virtues, especially care for one's family.
Okay, so what is your understanding on the golden rule of caring?
Ano yun yung kasi sir, 'di ba, pinag-usapan natin sa relationships. So, yung pinaka golden rule niya, sabi nga diyan, caring. So, mahalaga talaga na sa isang relasyon talaga, no? Relasyon kailangan talaga ng caring kasi para naalagaan. Yun nga, sabi diyan, no? Kumbaga sa Tagalog, wag mong gawin yung ayaw mong gawin sa iyo ng iba, 'di ba? Yung parang biblical din 'to.
Yes.
So, ayun sir. Ang kindness were primary virtues, yan, primary daw po yung ayan, kabutihan, especially care for one's family. So napakahalaga ng caring sa especially sa mga relationship sa family, napakahalaga ng pag-aalaga.
Okay, so thank
Sir.
you. Okay, thank you. So, ayan, pag sinabi natin in the relationships, so Confucius proposed the golden rule of caring. Of course, alam niyo to. Do not do unto others what you don't want others to unto you, di ba? So, he spoke of a principle of reciprocity. Kung ano yung ginawa mo, of course, yan rin yung kabayaran, di ba? Di ba? You are a police officer. Tapos nag-impose ka ng discipline, but you cannot impose discipline within yourself. Then, of course, hindi rin sila, hindi ka rin nila susundin. Kasi di ba, ang respect, in-earn yan. Okay, hindi mo yan basta-basta i-impose sa ibang tao. So, same as true with the golden rule of caring, di ba? Then, kapag ang nag-serve ka sa kanila ng maayos, or na yung totoo, yung genuine, of course, they will give it back to you kung ano yung respect na deserve mo. Yan yung tinatawag na rin na under the golden rule of caring. Nakuha niyo? Okay, so again, do not do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. Okay, next tayo. Okay, next slide pala. Okay, so we have the accountability and action. So pag sinabi nating accountability in government and in civil society, so of course there is a network of accountability between the different organs of the state. Pag sinabi kasi natin accountability or may pananagutan ka, so of course we have the separation of balance of power so that one part of the system can dominate the others. Of course, it was we have the legislative branch. We have the judiciary and the executive branch of the government. So sino yung pinakamataas sa tatlo na yun, guys? Sa tatlo, between sa legislative, executive, or judiciary. Kasi nga, di ba, meron tayong separation and balance of powers. So sino yung tinatawag natin doon? Sino yung pinaka-powerful doon sa tatlo between sa three branches of the government na meron tayo?
Wala po, sir. Kasi lahat sila pantay po, sir, or equal.
Okay, so very good. Anong tawag natin doon na anong tawag natin doon na doctrine? Anong tawag natin doon?
Doctrine of separation of powers.
Ano 'yon? Hindi. Anong tawag natin doon? Na principle?
Clemency. Ano ata yun, sir? Equal clemency ba yun? Parang gano'n.
Hindi. Anong tawag natin doon kapag yung tatlong branches of the government natin is equal? Walang mas mataas sa kanilang tatlo. Anong tawag natin doon? Anong tawag natin doon?
Ano ba yun? Equitability. Nanguhula na lang ako.
Ano yun? Sige, sige, try lang. Walang problema.
Ano, sir? Equitability, parang mga ganun, sir. Ayan may na.
Anong tawag natin doon na principle? Hindi rin, hindi doctrine of separation of powers. Anong tawag natin? Principle of? O ano yung tawag natin doon? Or ano yung principle na yun? Ano yung doctrine na yun? Kapag ang legislative, executive, at judiciary, walang mas mataas sa kanilang tatlo. Kasi nga, they have different powers. Okay, so meaning, si judiciary, responsibility niya na i-check si executive, same as true, vice versa. The executive, kailangan niya i-check si judiciary kung naaayon pa ba sa konstitusyon or are they performing their duty. So anong tawag natin doon? Anong doctrine yun or principle? Principle of balance of power? Wala. Okay, hindi. Sige. Try and try. Baka makuha niyo ang tamang sagot. So, I received one. Okay, so ano yun? Bakit walang sumagot? Again, pag sinabi natin ano yon, walang mas mataas kanila na yon. Okay, very good. Si John Nico Pascual. Okay, ang tawag natin doon is the check and balances doctrine. Tandaan nyo, class, ha? Pag sinabi natin check and balances doctrine, ibig sabihin nun, walang mas mataas doon sa branches of the government natin. Legislative, judiciary, and executive branch. Ang tawag natin doon is the check and balances doctrine. Nakuha ba? Ibig sabihin,
Yes, sir.
yung tinatawag natin na check, ibig sabihin, yung tatlo na yon, vice versa, kailangan nila i-check yung bawat isa kung nagpa-function ba sila according to their functions or yung sinabi ng konstitusyon. Then balances, ibig sabihin, walang mas mataas sa kanila. Okay? They are balanced or they're equally balanced. So hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na mas mataas si president kasi siya yung president, ha? Kasi nga, meron tayong sinusunod, class, na check and balances doctrine. Ibig sabihin, kailangan nila i-check yung bawat isa. So meaning, basically, walang mas mataas sa kanila. Tama ba? Okay, so yan, ang check and balances doctrine. Di ba? Ngayon yun lang ba narinig ang check and balances doctrine? Bakit yung iba parang hindi familiar?
Yes, sir.
Hindi? Okay, so second, dito tayo. Okay, so those are basic knowledge, class, na kailangan ninyo na pala sa pagdating sa board exam, no? Or in case naman na hindi lalabas, of course, you are already equipped, di ba? With knowledge, di ba? Kasi sa board exam naman, hindi naman natin ma-anticipate o hindi naman natin malaman kung ano yung lalabas, di ba? Kasi hindi naman natin hawak ang utak ng examiner. But of course, we will try to understand, di ba? In case naman, as long as alam niyo paano sumagot, yun naman ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. Yung answering question or yung technique on how to answer question. Okay, pakibasa nga ng accountability and management. Sino ba? Maghanap tayo ng iba. Okay, so Sir William muna. Sir William. Yung
Yes,
iba.
sir.
Okay.
Accountability and management. Public service are mostly hierarchical, with each officer accountable to a manager. But sometimes, the lines of management accountability is blurred.
Okay, so accountability and management. So public service are mostly hierarchical. Ano yung sabihin natin ng hierarchical? Ibig sabihin, class, merong order yung structure ng organization. May boss hanggang sa pinakababa. Halimbawa sa PNP, meron tayong chief PNP sa pinakamataas. Then the lowest mammal in the organization is the patrolman or patrolwoman, with each officer accountable to a manager. But sometimes the lines of management accountability is blurred, di ba? Kasi di ba kapag meron kayo tinatawag or meron kayong sinusunod na chain of command, di ba? Ang chain of command, the flow of authority is from top to bottom and the flow of obedience is from bottom to top. So, ibig sabihin, class, accountability and management. So, meron tayong, okay, tama yan, scholar principle or chain of command. So, ang accountability and management, class, so meaning, merong each officer or each person in the organization is accountable to a manager or to the superior officer. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na accountability in management. So, meaning, meron tayong sinusundan na line in the management or in the accountability. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next tayo. Okay, so accountability to the public. So public servants are accountable to the public and that in name they are appointed to serve. So of course, di ba, under the Constitution, public office is a public trust. Okay, public office is a public trust. So ibig sabihin, they are basically accountable to people. Okay, so that is the accountability in action. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, next
Yes, sir.
tayo. So that is understandable. So we have the professional conduct and police ethical standards. So pakibasa nga si si Quill naman. Si Kilon ba yun? Kanina. Si ano na lang, si Berto Daso.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ay, babae pala. Babae ba? Babae, no? Bertudaso.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Pakibasa muna. Ng number 1.
Neglect of duty or nonfeasance. Omission or failure to perform an act which one is obligated or permitted to do, either by law or directive due to omission or failure to recognize the obligation.
Okay, again, pag sinabi nating professional conduct and ethical standards, una dyan, we have the neglect of duty or nonfeasance. They are one in the same class. So dapat alam nyo, ang other term for nonfeasance is the neglect of duty. So tanda nyo lang, pag sinabi nating nonfeasance class, di ba? Sabi ko, may strategy dyan. Kapag nonfeasance, yung word na non, so tandaan nyo lang yung letter O. Pag sinabi nating letter O, ibig sabihin that is omission. Okay? Or you failed to perform an act. Which one is obligated or permitted to do. So yan yung tinatawag natin na nonfeasance or omission or yung failure to perform an act. Hindi mo ginawa yung dapat yung dapat or yung duty mo under by law or na dapat mong gawin. Yan yung tinatawag natin class na neglect of duty or nonfeasance. Omission or failure to perform an act which is obligated or permitted to do either by law or directive due to omission or failure to recognize the obligation. Halimbawa, may gumagawa ng krimen sa harap mo, tapos hindi mo na aresto, hindi mo na stabilize yan, hindi mo na naharangan kasi nga ayaw mo ma-involve. So that is neglect of duty or nonfeasance. Ang tanda nyo lang dyan is omission or you fail to perform an act which is you are owed to perform. Of course, nanumpa ka na yan yung gagawin mo. Pero of course, you fail to perform such acts. That is the nonfeasance. Pag sinabi naman nating irregularities in the performance of duty, tinatawag natin yung class na misfeasance. Again, the other term for misfeasance is the irregularities in the performance of duty. Tandaan nyo lang yung word na misfeasance class, yung letter I dyan. Yung letter I dyan class, it stands for improper. Ibig sabihin, ginawa mo yung trabaho mo o yung ginawa mo yung dapat mong gawin. Pero, anong nangyari? Misfeasance, improper naman. Hindi siya nakasunod ngayon sa tinatawag natin na standards. Okay? Di ba meron tayong in every action sa PNP or any organization, meron tayong sinusunod na standards doon. Ibig sabihin, those are the set of standards na kailangan mo i-perform. Ginawa mo nga yung trabaho mo, pero mas marami talagang naapektuhan, okay? Mas marami naapektuhan. Halimbawa, may namatay or may na-injured because of your improper performance of an act, okay? Which might be lawfully done. Again, ulitin natin. Ang tandaan nyo lang sa misfeasance, yung letter I dyan, ibig sabihin improper. Yan naman talaga ang kanyang keyword kung titingnan natin. Hindi niyan papalitan na improper class. Okay? Improper performance of some act which might lawfully done. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ginawa mo yung trabaho mo pero in not the right way or sa maling pamamaraan. Kaya sa maling pamamaraan na yon, naka-cause ka pa ng damage sa iba. That is what we call the irregularities in the performance of duty or minsan tinatawag natin yan na misfeasance. Okay? So ayan, unlawful arrest. Or halimbawa, ano ba siya? Ang gusto mo lang sana is paputukan yung accused or yung gumawa ng krimen tapos maraming nadama, yung maraming natamaan. That is misfeasance, di ba? Irregularities in the performance of duty. Okay? Next naman, we have what we call, okay, balik pa na. Okay, we have the malfeasance. Ang malfeasance naman, class, di ba? Ang malfeasance, natin nyo, pag sinabi natin mal, okay, dagdagan mo lang ng I, that is mali in Filipino. Again, malfeasance or dagdagan mo lang ng I, that is mali in Filipino. That's why, very good, that is wrongful. Sabihin, wrongful or intentional omission of prohibited act or unjust performance of act which party had no right. Malfeasance. Again, wrongful performance of an act. Ginawa mo yung trabaho mo, pero mali naman. Okay, ang pagka-executive. Wrong or wrongful. Yan. Okay, wrongful or intentional commission. Ulitin natin na. Tandaan nyo kapag sa neglect of duty or nonfeasance, tandaan nyo lang yung term natin na omission or failure to perform. Yung letter O, omission. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka talaga gumalaw or hindi ka talaga nag-function according sa duty mo. That is what we call the nonfeasance or you omit. Okay, ibig sabihin, hindi mo ginawa yung dapat mong gawin. That is neglect of duty or nonfeasance. Ang irregularities in the performance of duty naman, misfeasance, improper. Ginawa mo yung trabaho mo, pero sa maling pamamaraan naman, improper. Okay? While ang malfeasance, mali, or wrongful, or intentional commission of a prohibited act, or intentional unjust performance of some act which a party had no right. Ang malfeasance class, mali talaga in the first place yung ginawa mo. Ibig sabihin, hindi yan siya gawain ng isang police officer. Kaya halimbawa, you unlawfully arrested a person. Okay, halimbawa, walang legal grounds, wala naman siyang ginawa. Tapos, you instigate him. That is malfeasance. Wrongful performance of an act. Okay, so that is or unjust performance of some act. That is malfeasance. Nasundan ba rin nyo? Nasundan? What is,
Yes, sir.
Sige. I hope, balikan nyo mamaya yung ating recorded kapag mag-end tayo. Sige. Thank you. So, are you familiar with these terms? Kasi paborito to sa board exam. Okay, ano yung ibig sabihin ng Rooks Cups? Again, pag sinabi natin Rooks Cup, ano yung ibig sabihin nun? Okay, familiar ba kayo sa mga terms na yan? Yung Rooks Cups, and so on. Hindi ba? Hindi kayo familiar sa Rooks Cup? Corrupt, involved sa drugs, bago po lang na-encounter meat eaters. Okay, mamaya isa-isahin natin yan, don't worry. How about naman class, kapag under sa professional class, you are considered as a as a straight shooters. Anong tawag natin doon? Again, pag sinabi natin Rooks Cup, ano naman ang straight shooters sa ngayon? Okay, again, ano naman yung tinatawag natin na straight shooters? Sorry. Okay, what is straight shooters? Okay, what is straight shooters? Honest policeman. Okay, so honest policeman. How about pag sinabi natin camaraderie? What is camaraderie, class? Okay, in the police service, what is camaraderie? Forthright, teamwork, companion. Okay, mamaya tingnan natin. How about valor or valor? What is valor? Sabi ni Kilon, ang group is cut down, new policeman involved in illegal activities. Valor, highest award. Hindi, yung valor mismo na term, bravery, sabi ni, bakit Zoom user? Okay, so i-change yung name yung class kapag bukas, kapag nag-join kayo para ma-identify ko kung kayo talaga yung may-ari na account or naka-enroll sa akin. Okay, how about gentlemanliness? Ano yung na-encounter ninyo? Ano yung pagkakalam na ninyo? Gentlemanliness. What is gentlemanliness? Good manners, ang gentleman. When you have the gentlemanliness. Police in manners, okay? Tama ba? Okay, dignified in appearance, okay? May mas malalapit na. Okay, so tingnan natin mamaya kung ano yung mas pinakamalapit. Polished man, okay? So ayan, pwede. Ang gagaling ninyo How about integrity, class? Pag sinabi natin integrity, what is integrity? Fellow man. Integrity, word of honor, honest, quality of being honest. Okay, so, di ba, of course, dapat kapag you are a police officer, you have the integrity in your work or in your duty. So, ayan, explain natin, class. Ano yung kaibahan nila? Ayaw. Having strong moral principles, integrity. Ganito, class. Okay, pag sinabi natin rules cap, class, yung number 1, of course, some of you are not familiar with this. Ang Rooks Cup, ang tawag natin doon, it is a new policeman who was involved in illegal activities. Again, ang Rooks Cup, that is a new policeman class that was involved in illegal activities. That is the Rooks Cup. Bagong pasok pa lang or bagong enter pa lang sa organization, then na-involve na siya agad sa tinatawag natin na illegal activities. Ang tawag natin doon is the Rooks Cup. Okay, nakuha ba? Then, pag sinabi nating straight shooters, sir, a protector, sir, consider na ba, sir? Kapag protector, of course, hindi yan siya policeman. Or kung pwedeng policeman rin, of course, ang mga protector class, matagal na yan sila or expert na yan sila. So, kapag may protector man na sa PNP, yung mga matataas na officials yan, di ba? Hindi ka naman basta-basta may protector kung nasa pinakababa ka, di ba? So, most likely, kapag protector, hindi siya papasok sa Rogues Cup. Okay? Kasi, very specific naman, na new policeman that was involved in illegal. Ang Rogues Cup, sir, hoodlums po ba? Other term. Hoodlums. Ang hoodlums is parang connected sila. Pero ang palagi kasi tinatanong sa board exam is the Rogues Cup. Yung term na yan. Ibig sabihin, you are a new policeman that was involved in illegal activities or in illegal, halimbawa, na-involved sa drugs agad. Okay? So, that is the Rogues Cup. Ang straight shooters naman, you are an honest policeman. Anong tawag natin doon, class, kapag halimbawa, you are in the organization? Tapos dapat, kahit kapag may nakikita ka, may naririnig na sa tingin mo that is illegal, yung ititik ko muna yung bibig mo or yung hindi ka na magsasalita. Anong tawag natin doon? That is of code of what? Anong code yon?
Secrecy,
Okay.
discipline.
Ano yon? Halimbawa, hindi ka magsasalita.
Secrecy, discipline po, sir.
Code of? Epicity?
Code of secrecy, discipline. Secrecy, discipline. Yes po, sir.
Secrecy? Okay. Ang tawag natin doon is the code of silence. Okay, parang connected rin. Tama? Ang tawag natin kasi is code of silence. Ibig sabihin, syempre, lalong-lalo na kapag bago pa lang sa, sa organization. So, dapat huwag kang magbida-bida, no? Kahit sa tingin mo na hindi tama yon yung ginagawa na yon o halimbawa sa organization ninyo, hindi tama yung pamamalakad, wala kang magagawa, no? Dapat tumahimik ka lang. Ang tawag na doon is code of silence. Pero, class, kapag you are a member of the police organization or kahit anong organization then you find it na kailangan mo talaga i-voice out. Kailangan mo talaga labanan yung corruption or yung nangyayari na injustices or hindi tama. Ang tawag sa iyo, class, is a straight shooter. Okay? You are considered as an honest policeman. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ba ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, straight shooters ang tawag natin doon. Okay, na-encounter nyo ba ang straight shooters at Rogues Cup or hindi?
Sir, yung nakalagay po dito sa sir, yung straight shooters po, sir, honest policemen who are ready to cover and conceal corrupt practices of the police department po, sir.
Okay, so of course, class, ang straight shooters, you are an honest policeman. Of course, hindi ka gusto ng saan mo yan gi-search? Sa Google? Sa Google nyo ba?
Sa book po ng CBRC po, sir.
Ay, nasa BRC. Okay, ang straight shooters, class, ang tanda nyo lang doon is honest policeman para hindi kayo ma-confuse. Okay, you are an honest policeman. Of course, kapag may mga nakikita ka, diba, we are following the code of silence. Okay, ganun ka sa ang straight shooters, honest policemen. Yun lang, para hindi na kayo ma-confuse. Kasi ano yan, kapag complicated na yung ilalagay nila na iba't iba or iba't ibang mga follow-up na ano. So, wag yun na i-ano. So, nandito yan sa power notes, lahat-lahat guys. Okay, so, ayan, power notes. Okay, so straight shooter. Again, ang Rugis Cup, new policeman that was involved in illegal. Ang straight shooters naman, they are the honest policemen. So kapag, di ba, sa organization, kapag may nalalaman ka or you are not, hindi ka, ano yun, ano yun in Filipino nga? Kung hindi ka sang-ayon, di ba? No choice ka. Okay, kaya dapat, before kayo pumasok, dapat isipin nyo muna. Then, of course, number 3, we have the camaraderie. So, pag sinabi natin camaraderie, wait lang, saan yung portion? That is the brotherhood. Okay, kapag you have the camaraderie within the organization, ibig sabihin we have the brotherhood. Pag sinabi natin sorority class, ano yung ibig sabihin ng sorority? Yung literal. What is sorority? Sorority, what is the literal meaning of sorority? Bakit tinawag siya na sorority? Okay, bakit walang sumagot? Again, pag sinabi natin sorority, what is sorority? Okay, very good. Okay, pag sinabi natin sorority class is sisterhood. How about yung fraternity naman? How about fraternity? Ano naman ang ibig sabihin ng fraternity class? Gang. Brotherhood. Okay, very good si Adrian. That is brotherhood class. Okay, pag sinabi naman natin hazing, di ba? Of course, iniiwasan natin. Pag sinabi natin hazing class, what is hazing? Connected sa tinatawag natin na fraternity and sorority. Again, pag sinabi natin hazing, what is hazing? Sorry. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin hazing, what is hazing class? Initiation rights. Ang initiation rights class, of course, di ba? Kapag ang initiation rights kasi class, that is yung activities na pag halimbawa yung papaluin kayo, di ba? Papaluin, ano pa? May mga violence or may mga threats doon. That is the initiation rights para you will be accepted in the organization. Tama? So, ang hazing, of course, that is the infliction of pain or infliction of violence. Ina-allowed pa ba yan, yung hazing sa ngayon? Ina-allowed ba ang hazing sa ngayon? Wala na, di ba? So, ang initiation right, of course, di ba, nangyayari ang hazing during the initiation rights upon inflicting the pain or violence sa maging gustong member ng isang organization. Okay? Yung kinanta siya. Okay. Ano yung hazing? Diba? Grabe yung joke ni ni Robin pang matalino, hindi ko mag-gets agad. Okay, so ayan, ang camaraderie, that is the brotherhood. Okay, doon pag sinabi naman nating valor, of course, that is bravery class, di ba? So kapag the Police Medal of Valor class, that is the highest medal given to a person who distinguishing himself, sabihin, inalay niya yung buhay niya para sa bansa natin, di ba? Ang mamatay ng dahil sa iyo, that is valor or bravery. So ngayon class, ano mangyayari kapag halimbawa namatay siya in the performance of his duty? Of course, he distinguished himself. Inoffer niya yung sarili niya sa bayan, tapos namatay siya. Ano yung marireceive niya ngayon? Again?
Medal of Valor, sir.
Anong marireceive niya, class? Nung before or namatay siya, before the granting of that award. Ibig sabihin, namatay siya muna bago siya bigyan ng ganon. Pero, he already distinguished himself. Ibig sabihin, binigay niya ang buo sa bansa or para sa bansa. Okay. So that is posthumous medal. Okay? Posthumous yun ang tao natin, class. Ganito ang general term natin dyan, kapag binigay mo yung buhay mo, okay, in line with your duty, in line with your function, ibig sabihin, sobra pa sa sinumpaang tungkulin mo. Ang ibibigay sa iyo kapag buhay ka, of course, that is the Police Medal of Valor, that is the highest medal, no? Pag namatay ka naman, of course, that is the posthumous Police Medal of Valor. Ibig sabihin, you died before the granting of award. Okay? Yan yung tinatawag na posthumous Medal of Valor. Kasi nga, posthumous, namatay na siya. Okay? Ang spelling, wrong spelling yung wrong ninyo, ay wrong spelling yung ano ninyo, yung mga sagot ninyo na posthumous. Okay, so i-search na lang sa Google Class ang tamang spelling. Okay, though ang importante, alam nyo, di ba? Okay, so ang importante, alam nyo what is posthumous. Again, ang kapag buhay siya, class, the general term or yung award na binibigay because of his bravery or he offered his yung sarili niya para sa bansa, that is Police Medal of Valor because of the bravery. While ang posthumous Medal of Valor naman, ibig sabihin, he distinguished himself before he received the granting of award, di ba? So namatay siya before sa bigyan ng award. Posthumous, namatay. So kayo, anong pipiliin nyo? Police Medal of Valor or posthumous Medal Award? So mamili kayo. Then of course, ang posthumous Medal Award class, ang magre-receive niyan, di ba? Kapag sa ilalagay, di ba? So dadalhin ba yan sa hukay niya? Kapag halimbawa namatay siya? Ano yun? Ano yung pagkakalap ninyo?
Hindi.
Ano? Dadalhin
Hindi
ba?
naman. Hindi yan, sir.
Ay,
Hindi
hindi
mo
naman.
madala yan sa langit.
Ay, hindi naman madadala sa langit. Of course, class, yung naiwan niya, di ba? Ang tatanggap or siya yung
Pa-frame yun, sir.
ipa-frame. Family niya ang magre-receive. Kapag buhay pa yung misis niya, of course, yung misis niya. Kapag wala na, of course, yung anak niya, panganay hanggang sa pinaka bata. Okay? So, asawa or pamilya. Of course, mauna pala yung asawa. Hindi maunang kabit, So, that is under yung pag-receive class ng tinatawag natin na posthumous Medal of War. Okay? Then, of course, yung flag na ilalagay sa yung flag na ilalagay sa kabaong niya. Then, of course, yung pamilya rin yung magre-receive nun. Okay? So, don't worry, class. Actually, connected siya sa LEA, yung sa CFLM, yung sa Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines. So, under the TOS, kailangan i-explain natin. Okay? So, pag sinabi naman nating gentlemanliness or you are a gentlemanliness, ibig sabihin, you are a polished man. Okay? So, again, pag sinabi nating gentlemanliness, that is, you are a polished man. Ang integrity naman, of course, you have the word of honor. Kapag you have the integrity, class, in your duties, sa sinumpaang tungkulin mo, ibig sabihin, hindi ka basta-basta mababayaran kasi nga, you have the word of honor. Again, pag sinabi natin Cougs Cup, that is the new policeman that was involved in illegal activities. Ang straight shooters naman, you are an honest policeman, camaraderie, brotherhood, valor, that is bravery, gentlemanliness, you are a polished man. Integrity naman, you have the word of honor. Tama ba? Nasundan ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige, next. Okay, pag sinabi nating misconduct, it is the wrongdoing or violation of departmental procedures. Yan yung misconduct. Ibig sabihin, you conduct yourself improperly or ibig sabihin, sa maling pamamaraan. That is misconduct, di ba? Wrongdoing or violation of departmental procedures. Di ba, ganitong oras yung pasok ninyo, 8 a.m., pumasok ka ng 10 a.m., diba? That is a misconduct, wrongdoing or violation of departmental procedures. Then, pag sinabi natin incompetence, of course, very common yan sa organization, no? Ang incompetence, that is the manifestation of lack of adequate ability and fitness for the satisfactory performance of police duties, di ba? Kapag sinabi natin incompetent, class, you cannot perform well yung duties and responsibilities na nakaatas sa iyo. Halimbawa, kapag napilay ka or kapag nabaril yung isa mong paa or yung kamay mo, of course, you are incompetent to work na, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo talaga whole, perform na maayos yung function and responsibility mo. Kasi nga, you are incompetent now to work, di ba? That is the lack of adequate ability and fitness for the satisfactory performance of police duties. That's why, sa selection process pa lang or sa recruitment process pa lang, tinitingnan na talaga class kung competent ka ba or hindi. Hindi lang physically fit ka naman, okay, at tama naman yung BMI mo, pero when it comes sa records mo, ay masyadong masyadong bababa or masyadong ganito. So ibig sabihin ng incompetence class, lahat titingnan, 'di ba? Yung yung ability mo to perform, to then your ability or your fitness or suited ba ang qualification mo sa magiging trabaho mo. So that is incompetence. The lack of adequate ability and fitness. Nakuha ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nandyan pa kayo. Baka nakatulog na kayo, ha? Of course, ang incompetence in reference to any physical, intellectual quality, the lack of which substantially incapacitates one to perform the duties of peace officer. Okay, ibig sabihin, kapag you are performing or you are applying to become a police officer or you are performing or you will wanted to become a police officer, of course, dapat hindi rin pwedeng matalino ka lang, di ba? So, dapat fit rin yung katawan mo. Dapat whole aspect ng pagkatao mo. Intellectually, hindi rin pwedeng malaki lang yung katawan mo. Tapos, hindi mo yung alam yung standard, yung pag-aresto, hindi mo lang naman nasabi ang Miranda warnings or yung mga Miranda rights niya before siya ma-aresto. Yun ang tawag natin na incompetence class. Ibig sabihin, kulang, di ba? There is a lacking within your qualifications. So yan yung tinatawag natin na incompetence. Kaya maraming incompetent nakapasok sa service. Kasi nga, of course, hindi rin natin mawawala yung meron pa bang backer system class? Meron pa ba?
Okay.
Diba? Meron pa rin, no? Kahit actually it is a sensitive diba? A sensitive topic, diba? Kaya sa akin, di ba nung nag-post ako about sa backer, in-erase ko agad. Kasi of course, I have friends and marami akong friends sa sa PNP, sa fire, sa lahat-lahat. Maraming magagalit or maraming mag-guilty. Okay? But of course, hindi natin maalis. Meron talaga, no? Meron pa rin existence yan, di ba? Kaya, tahimik na lang. So, gano'n naman talaga, guys. Kahit saan lang naman, hindi lang naman sa PNP, sa BGMP, sa FAR, di ba? Of course, meron din sa DepEd, sa iba't ibang organization. Hindi talaga maiiwasan yun. Nakuha ba? Kahit you are competent enough or kahit mag-top 1 ka pa dyan sa examination, mag-top 1 ka pa sa interview, lahat-lahat, tapos may napili na pala sila, wala tayong magagawa. Agree ba kayo dyan? Tama, di ba? Okay. So, parang hindi natin mawala. Kaya, gano'n talaga. Kaya, hindi ko na rin tinuloy yung mga application ko dati. Kasi, baka may napili na sila, di ba? Agree, sir. So, ayan. Halimbawa, sa quota dati na yung in-applyan ko dati na 100, meron ng 80. Okay? 20 na lang yung pag-aagawan. Ay, yung pag-aagawan. So, yung 20 na yun, 1,000 kayo ang nakapila. So parang so parang suntok sa buwan kung makukuha ka. So parang gano'n. So, hindi talaga maalis yung gano'n, gas, no? Sorry. Hindi naman. Okay, so siguro siguro yun, parang falling lang na, ay, dapat dito ka kasi dito ka mas kailangan or dito ka mas magaling. Dito, baka hindi magpa-function or baka sunod-sunuran ka lang. So, mayroon talaga sigurong yun, nakalaan. So, but of course, guys, do not give up, diba? Kahit sa August, ang dami yung kalaban. Yung sa batch ko, hindi pa nakakapasok. Yung sumunod na batch, hindi pa. Yung kaka-take ng kakapasan ng February, hindi pa rin. Kayo yung dadagdag kayo, hindi pa rin. Okay, so, joke lang. Pero of course, guys, marami pa naman. Marami pang Okay. Tama, no? 6 day, that is the minimum. Okay, di ba? 6 day, 10K per day or 15K per day. So, yun yung ganun, di ba? 6,000 yung minimum per day kapag lecturer ka eh, di ba? 6,000 kapag bago ka pa lang. Kapag nasa 10,000, 15,000, depende. So 6 times 30, 18. Okay, so meron kang 180,000. Okay. Okay, so parang gano'n. Okay, so yun class per month ang sahod mo kapag marunong ka mag-ipon, tama? Okay, ganun class. So, hindi naman ibig sabihin na criminology kayo or criminologist kayo sa pagpupulis lang, pagpa-fire or Maraming, dyan class, maraming opportunities yan. Pwede naman kayo sa Army, sa Air Force, sa Navy, sa Marine, di ba? So, yung marami akong students ngayon sa UM. Ah, bakit may question dito? Marami akong classmates, marami akong students sa UM na gagraduate sila ngayong next month ba? Hindi ko alam kung may UM akong student dito. Tapos na pumasok na sila agad sa Navy kasi nag-recruitment ng Navy tapos nakapasa sila sa siguro examination. Training na nila nung last day eh. Kasi yung isa doon meron bang taga UM dito? Appeal, sir. Okay. Meron ba? Dito pala si Adrian. May mga kabatch kayo na pumasok sa Navy kasi nakita ko sa sabi niya, sir, next year na lang ako mag-board exam. Sabi ko, sige pa, magiging Army na lang sa US. Wow. Di ba mas mataas pala yung pangarap ni Dane Moico magiging US Army. So sabi niya mag-exam daw siya after nilang after ng after ng training. Sabi ko mag-exam ka para pagbalik mo pwede ka na mag-lateral entry agad, di ba? Pwede na siya mag-official. Diba? Sabi niya. So, marami pang pwede sa Marine, ang una kong in-applyan dati is sa Philippine Army, yung sa official class. Hindi ko na tinuloy. Ako din sir nag-aantay ng tawag kung papasa ako sa final. Ano naman yung in-applyan mo sa sa Coast Guard or sa Navy rin? So, Navy. So, ayan. Mas nauna pala yung iba sa inyo? Second batch kayo ba? Second batch? Or Kasi pumasok na yung nauna. Okay. So, good luck. So, pero of course, kahit makuha ka sa final, kapag once na pumasok ka, mag-review ka pa rin, mag-exam ka pa rin next, kapag para, yan, anong tawag natin ng class, pwede ka mag-lateral entry after, di ba? Lateral entry, automatic official. Kasi kapag papasok ka doon na college graduate ka, hindi ka pa na nag-board, of course, mahirap rin doon ka sa ang promotion. So, dapat tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Okay? So, kasi yan, sana talaga yung edad na sir. Sige lang, bata ka pa naman, Sir Victor. Your time will come, di ba? So, wala namang yan. Nasa sa inyo na yan. Okay? So, yan. Kung saan mo yung dalhin ng tadhana, so dapat, of course, grateful kayo, di ba? Then, of course, pag sinabi natin oppression, that is an act of cruelty, severity, and lawful execution. And of course, pag sinabi natin oppression class, there is an excessive use of authority. Ibig sabihin, nag-exceed na sila when it comes sa power na meron sila. Yan yung tinatawag natin na oppression. So, an unlawful execution, kung sino lang yung may kaya or sino lang yung mas mataas. So, they have the ability, then of course, misconduct, wrongdoing or violation, incompetence naman, lack of adequate ability and fitness to perform their function. Nasunod ba? Nasunod class? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, pag sinabi naman nating dishonesty in the police service, of course, concealment or distortion of truth in a matter of facts relevant to one's office or connected with the performance of his duties. Of course, they are not genuine or they're not divulging the correct information. Okay, dishonesty. Then, of course, we have the disloyalty, di ba? Kahit naka-online tayo, meron tayong dito. Ang disloyalty to the government, of course, is consist of abandonment or renunciation of one's loyalty to the government of the Philippines or advocating the overthrow of the government. So kapag you are not loyal to the government, class, ibig sabihin nun, nawawala yung sense of your nationalism, di ba? Ibig sabihin, you are not loyal to the government, di ba? Kasi ang loyalty, nationalism is loyalty to country, patriotism, that is the love to country, class. In the disloyalty to the government, ano yung posibleng ikaso sa iyo, class? Halimbawa, you are not loyal to the country. Ang loyalty mo or ang tiwala mo or ang binibigay mo yung suporta mo sa ibang bansa. Anong tawag natin doon? Anong posibleng crime na ikaso sa iyo? Of course, very good. That is treason. Okay? Posible na kakasuhan ka ng treason, class. Lalong-lalo na kapag there is an existence of war. Kasi nga, ang treason is a war crime. At the same time, it is an international crime. So, during the existence of war, kapag sumali ka or mas ang loyalty mo on the sa kalaban or yung kalaban ng bansa natin, pwede kang makasuhan ng treason. Ibig sabihin, you abandon your loyalty to your government or to the Philippines or gusto mong ipabagsakin or to overthrow the government. Okay? So, halimbawa, papasok rin dito, class, yung kudita, di ba? Pag sinabi natin kudita, that is a swift attack. Ibig sabihin, ang offender natin dyan are group of police or military personnel that is for the purpose of overthrowing the government or pabagsakin ng government. So, kudita ang tawag natin doon. Okay? So, kudita. So, of course, that is also a form of this loyalty to the government. Okay? So, you wanted to overthrow the government na kung saan dapat ang loyalty mo na doon. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na disloyalty to the government. Nakuha ba? Okay, next. Then, of course, the violation of law. The presupposes conviction in court and any crime or offenses penalized under revised penal code or any special law or ordinance. Of course, kapag there is a, kasi ba yung mga police, no? Minsan, or so, hindi lang police, ang PNP, fire, lahat ng service, they are the one who will enforce the law, but they are the one who actually, minsan, percentage class. Ang rebellion, of course, papasok rin yan, class, sa disloyalty to the country. Okay? So, yung nabanggit ko kanina na kudita and so on, treason and so on, yan ang mga examples. Okay? Violation. Ba't tayo ma-transfer? Okay? Feeling ko excited na kayo sa criminal law, no? Don't worry, class. Ilang subjects na lang meron tayo sa criminology area. Pupunta na tayo sa criminal law. Okay? Then after nyo sa criminal law, after tayo mag-explain ng criminal law, pupunta kayo ngayon sa LEA, pero si Sir Alan Santos yung mag-lecture sa inyo sa LEA. Sir Alan is yung legendary lecturers natin yan sa LEA. Top 5 din siya. So, kilala niyo si Sir Alan Santos. So, abangan niyo yan, ha. But of course, unahin ko muna ang criminal law sa inyo. Kasi foundation niyo dapat ang criminal law. Yes, dating police si Sir Santos. Okay, top number 5. Okay, so next time. But of course, guys, yung dinidiscuss ng mga invited lecturers natin, uulitin ko rin yun sa inyo. Kasi ibang strategy meron sila, di ba? So parang uniform pa rin yung nalalaman ninyo sa akin. Of course, hindi ko naman sinasabing mali, di ba? May makuha at makuha kayo, class, sa mga ibang lecturers. But of course, we will try to ma-uniform, di ba? Lahat. Ang strategy, lahat ng ano ninyo. Or ma-double up, or ma-double, ma-triple, ma-times 5 lahat ng nalalaman ninyo, di ba? So, yun yung goal natin. Okay, corruption, of course, it is a forbidden act involving misuse of office or gain. Okay, ikaw na lang lahat, sir. Don't worry, kahit may lecturers tayo na invited, ulitin ko rin yung subject na ituturo niya sa inyo para mas ma-retain sa utak ninyo. Diba? Yung mga school, mga university, mga review center, nalulungkot yan sila kapag halimbawa 3 days na ako or 2 days na ako magle-lecture sa kanila. Nagre-request sila sa review director or sa deans na sana ako na lang daw lahat ng subject, di ba? Hindi rin pwedeng ako lahat kasi wala na akong time para sa inyo, di ba? Or wala na akong time para sa ibang review center. So maganda 'yun sa ano, di ba? Maganda 'yun sa ano 'yun, sa credibility mo or sa feeling mo as a lecturer, di ba? Na gustong-gusto ka nila. Gustong-gusto nila yung way ng pagturo mo or yung strategy. Gustong-gusto nila yung ganun na ano, naka-connect sila sa akin. So, di ba? Mas yung iba, di ba, nagmamadali sila na matapos yung lecture nila. Yung sa'yo, gusto nila ikaw lahat na magturo. Mas magandang ano yan, guys. Magandang fulfillment yon, di ba? Hindi mo kailangan makipag-away sa iba, di ba? So, magpangkitang gilas ka sa student. So, ganun, guys. Eh, di ba, kapag lecturer kayo soon, di ba, yung some of you, dapat hindi ang topic niyo hindi yung ano, yung kapwa niyo lecturer, kapwa niyo professors or ano. Dapat ang topic niyo yung subject. Okay? Huwag niyo pausapan kasi doon nasisira, di ba? Pangit yun. Okay? Kasi of course that is based on experience, guys. Na ganun ang iba, di ba? So, yun talagang real. Dapat focus ka sa ano mo. Okay lang? Okay lang ba? Baka may alam kayo. So again, corruption, it is a forbidden acts of involving misuse of office or gain. Of course, that is already understandable. Then, of course, favoritism in the PNP or in the other law enforcement agencies, the unfair breaks to friends or relatives or tinatawag natin na nepotism. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na favoritism class. Of course, lalo-lalo na kapag you are a friend or relatives, of course, kapasok yan yung backer system natin. Okay, ang rotten apples are either weak individuals who have slipped through screening process or succumb to the temptations inherent in police work, or deviant individuals who continue their deviance in an environment that gives them ample opportunity. So, of course, alam niyo naman yung rotten apples, di ba? Nakita na kayo ng rotten apples. So again, pag sinabi nating rotten apples, ibig sabihin, yun yung mga individuals na member ng isang organization, halimbawa sa police service or sa fire, sa jail service na they, kumbaga, ang process ng pagpasok nila is minadali. Of course, may backer sila, to the temptations, then, nung pagpasok nila, mas nalagdagan pa yung mga illegal activities na meron sila. That is the rotten apples. Okay, nakuha ba? Then, of course, the deviance, of course, that is the behavior inconsistent with the norms, values, or ethics. So, deviance. Ibig sabihin ng deviance class, yung ugali niya is different from what is normal. Diba? Ganito yung standard na sinusunod, di ba? Or ano ito yung standard na hindi naman abnormal. Okay? Ang deviance class, ibig sabihin parang kakaiba or parang abnormal na rin, no? Pero ang pinaka-proper term natin din is deviance class. Halimbawa, may namatayan, instead na umiyak ka, nakatawa ka pa. So, ibig sabihin, there is a deviancy when it comes to your behavior. So, ibig sabihin, it is inconsistent with the norms, values, or ethics. Parang kakaiba or there is something in you. So, ibig sabihin, there is a deviancy with your attitude. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na deviancy. Okay, so dito tayo mag-end sa types of police deviance. Pag sinabi natin police gratuity, ibig sabihin the receipt of free meal services or discounts. Yan yung ano natin, guys, or yan yung example ng police gratuity, tama ba? Of course, na ano nyo na yan, kapag police siya, di ba, minsan, free meal service or discounts. So that is the police deviancy na meron tayo. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin police deviancy, ang una dyan, we have the police gratuity. Ibig sabihin, that is the receipt of free meal services or discount. So kapag ano yan, parang kasi ginagamit mo yon or na-member ka ng law enforcement authorities, gagamitin mo yon as your ticket para makapagtingin or it will be taken as your advantage. Okay? So pag sinabi natin chiseling, when an officer is quite blatant about demanding free services, kaya yung tinatawag natin na chiseling. Okay? Ano ba, kapag may bibilhin siya, gusto niya libre lahat. Okay? So that is the chiseling na tawag natin. Of course, Again, pag sinabi natin chiseling, that is CHISELING, when a officer in any law enforcement agency is blatant or very obvious na nagde-demand ng free services. Free meals, pagkain niya, free services, or lahat na lang, yung transportation, kapag nagko-commute siya or lahat is free. That is chiseling. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin chiseling under the police gratuity, when an officer is very much or blatant about demanding free services to his people. Yan yung tinatawag natin na chiseling. Then, pag sinabi natin police shakedown, when the police officer extorts a business owner for protection money. Okay, again, pag sinabi natin under the types of police deviance, meron tayong tinatawag na police shakedown. Sabihin nun, when a police officer extort or hingan niya ng pera or ng money in exchange doon sa protection na ibibigay niya doon sa tinatawag natin na mga businesses. Yan yung tawag natin na police shakedown under the types of police deviance. Again, pag sinabi natin police shakedown, when a police officer extort money from a business owner, that is yung money na yon na makukuha niya, in exchange, there is a protection na ibibigay nila. Okay, halimbawa, every time na dumadaan yung van or yung sasakyan ng delivery ng business owner na yon, hindi na kailangan i-check. Yan yung tinatawag natin na police shakedown. Ibig sabihin, mag-extort siya ngayon ng money in exchange ng protection naman sa business na ibibigay doon na tinatawag natin na particular business ng tao na yun. Ang tawag natin doon is the police shakedown. Nakuha ba? Nakuha niyo class? Bakit walang sumasagot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how about pag sinabi nating police perjury? Pag sinabi nating police perjury, usually it means to effect an act of corruption, leaving out certain pertinent pieces of information in order to fix a criminal prosecution. Pag sinabi nating perjury class, saan nangyayari ang perjury? Sa labas ba ng korte o sa loob ng korte? Okay, so bakit walang sumasagot? Again, ang perjury, saan ba nangyayari? Okay, very good. So pag sinabi nating perjury class, nangyayari yan sa labas ng korte, out of court, di ba? So pag sinabi nating perjury, sa labas ng korte or minsan nangyayari yan sa mga tinatawag natin na mga agencies. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na perjury. Ang false testimony naman class, saan nangyayari ang false testimony or saan ginaganap? Ang tinatawag natin na false testimony.
Court.
Okay, sa loob ng korte. Okay? So, police perjury. So, ang gagaling ng students ko. Okay, so sa court. Okay? Then, of course, number 4, tapusin na natin yung slide na to class. Then, we will continue tomorrow. Okay, then of course, we have the police brutality. Sir, ano yung perjury? Yung false testimony class and perjury, both are lying. Okay? Pagsisinungaling yan class. Ang perjury, there is lying outside the court. Halimbawa, pinag-question ka in the law enforcement agency or any agencies outside of the court, that is perjury. Naka ba? Pag sinabi naman natin false testimony, of course, lying inside the court. Naka ba? Ganun lang kasimple. Nasundan ba ninyo? Nasundan? Again, pag sinabi natin perjury, lying rin yan outside the court. Ibig sabihin, hindi sa harap ng judge, that is perjury. Pag sinabi naman natin false testimony, sa harap mismo ng korte or sa loob mismo ng korte. Nakuha ba, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ganun lang kasi. Okay, then of course, dito tayo mag-end. We have the police brutality. Police brutality, that is the excessive use of force, name-calling, sarcasm, ridicule, and disrespect. That is the police brutality, di ba? Kapag yung sobra-sobra na, no, they go beyond their duty, that is police brutality. Excessive use of force. Halimbawa, di ba, we are employing the maximum tolerance na tinatawag natin. Pag sinabi natin maximum tolerance is maximum restraint, yung pagtitimpe. As much as possible, do not employ force if not necessary. Kung ano ba, unless na lang kung papatayin ka na talaga or, di ba, i-shoot to kill na, So that's the time na dapat unahan mo na. So pero kapag hindi kailangan class, kailangan pa rin we must adhere to the principle of yung maximum restraint or yung tinatawag natin na maximum tolerance. As much as possible, ang maximum tolerance kasi class, as much as possible, do not employ force if not necessary. Kung hindi naman kinakailangan, di ba? Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag na nila police brutality. Okay? So, bukas, we will continue with our part 2 ng ating Professional Conduct and Ethical Standards part 2. Matatapos na natin siya bukas. Pero, ano siguro class, sa afternoon or sa gabi, maximum restraints are applicable sa self-defense, sir. Hindi po. Iba ang self-defense. Ang self-defense naman kasi class, sa umbrella yon. There must be unlawful aggression, reasonable necessity, and the lack of provocation. So don't worry, ang self-defense, i-explain natin yan sa criminal law. Isa-isahin ko yon. Pero ang tinatawag na rin ng maximum tolerance class, sa police officer yon. Kung hindi lang sa police officer, halos lahat ng law enforcement agency, dapat hindi dapat kailangan or kung hindi kinakailangan yung gumamit ng puwersa or ng dahas, so wag mo na gamitin. Kasi nga, of course, you are guided with that. Sir, yung crisis management, wala ng continuation. Hindi, natapos na natin kanina ang crisis eh. Anong area po, sir, ang lesson ngayon? Nasa criminology area pa lang tayo, class, wala pa tayo sa tapusin muna natin ang criminology area. Okay. So, nakuha ba? Hindi ba kayo familiar sa mga subject ninyo? Dapat familiar kayo. Pinasa ko na yun sa GC natin. Sige lang, i-send ko ulit. So, dapat familiar kayo kung ano yung dinidiscuss natin para masundan ninyo. Nasa criminology area pa lang tayo. Yung crisis part 1 and part 2 lang yun kanina. Hindi, apat nga eh. Diba? Dispute, alternative dispute resolution, ang part 1 nun, dispute. Part 2 nun is yung crisis management. Dalawa. Hindi nyo ba nakita? Sir, anong tawag kapag sa loob ng court ng sinuman? Kapag sa loob ng court class, that is false testimony. Okay? Matatakil din pa ang human behavior and victimology. Of course, subject yan sa criminology area. Ang hindi pa natin na-explain sa criminology area class is the human behavior and victimology. We have the juvenile justice, okay? And of course, actually, ang theories okay na. So, nakuha ba? So, tatlo na lang ang ating itatakil na subject in the criminology area. Okay? So, lahat class, itatakil natin kasi may checklist ako kung tapos na o hindi. Okay? So, malalaman ninyo. Okay? So, yung mga question ninyo bukas, i-prepare ninyo. Pero wala tayong klase sa morning, sa hapon, or sa gabi, 1:30. So, ganun. Kung hindi ako makabot ng 1:30, so sa gabi tayo continue. The lessons at 21, Sir Absent kasi ako noon. Yes, isi-send natin lahat ng ating discussion mamaya sa bagong Telegram.